Sales ops, the missing layer between this brilliant strategy you have and the revenue you want. Sales operations is something that we talk about far too seldom. You've heard about revenue operations. It's a very, very unique trait. You don't typically see revenue operations in the small business world because typically professionals like myself who are good at revenue operations are too expensive for small businesses, lest they be venture or private equity backed. But the best strategy in the world is complete dog crap if it doesn't include a tactical sales operations roadmap that can take you from concept to cash. So we're going to get into that today, and we're going to do that right after this introduction. The Blunt on Business podcast is brought to you by...
You're ready to hire a sales rep. Now what? EdgeGTM.ai SalesOps gives you everything. A sales department manual, a live dashboard, comp plan mapping, deal review scoring, rep activity guide, and weekly coaching from your own AI sales ops consultant. 1 intake, 5 outputs, 1 week. The link's in the description to watch the demo.
I'm Rich Laster with GrowExpand.com, and this is the Blunt on Business podcast. We're talking about sales ops and why it's the key in between strategy and revenue. Strategy. Let's take this in a direct path, right? So I want you to see exactly what I'm talking about today. Strategy. Strategy is the path from where you are, your current reality, to your goal. A well-designed strategy doesn't just move you toward your goal. It sets you up for the goal that will follow achieving the current goal that you have. So, for example, your 12-month revenue goal may be 12 million, but your 36-month revenue goal is 30. Any strategy needs to understand what the year over year and the quarter over quarter and the month to month growth required is. It needs to take into account any barriers, any threats, and any weaknesses that exist now or are likely to exist as your business starts to grow, right? That is strategy. What is revenue? Revenue is the lifeblood of your business. Okay? If you didn't know, revenue is the lifeblood of your business. Revenue is a product of you effectively serving and delivering value to your ideal client or customer. Okay, cool. We have the fundamentals down. Now, this strategy is looking at clearly the 12-month, 36-month, 60-month, right? It's looking at the big picture. A roadmap does not look at a big picture. A roadmap takes that strategy, turns it into tactics that literally outline the milestones we need to hit and the KPIs that we need to accomplish and perform day after day, measured every week, in order for these long-term goals to ever be realistic, to ever be achieved. So where revenue operations is big picture, does the business have enough money to accomplish what we want to accomplish down the road? Are we having predictable revenue success, predictable performance? Okay, what does that look like? What are the KPIs we need to hit? That's a RevOps, SalesOps conversation, right? And understanding that, taking that, and then making it live is what sales operations is. Okay, this is where your sales manual, this is where your CRM and the KPIs that need to be performed every day and need to be measured for performance every week. That's where they live, in your CRM. Visit growexpand.com/CRM if you need one. It's so important to understand that roadmaps are far easier to produce than strategies. I mean, we built an AI, SGTM.ai. We built an AI that can literally spit one out for you in moments after very lengthy series of questions, of course. But how you apply what you learn is the difference between you having a warm and fuzzy conversation or you being like, come on, the average American, right? The average American wants the sexy gimmick. They don't want the hard work. They don't want to do the foundational things that actually lay a foundation. Okay, they just want the sexy house that when a hurricane comes, it's completely freaking gone. And you can't tell it was there because no foundation was laid. It's hard work. It's not sexy. Actors will never be on stage singing about it. Art departments will never get to do backdrops for it. The foundational work is where you imagine a bunch of sweaty people pouring concrete, laying rebar, right? I see steel beams going into the earth. I see a light layer of concrete being poured to secure the rebar and stabilize the beams. This does not sound like fun. There is nothing sexy about this. Those beams haven't even been sprayed with concrete yet. But it's the foundational work. Understanding what needs to happen in the end and setting yourself up to be able to endure the challenges and get there. That is strategy. After strategy is tactical mapping, roadmap for execution. So that execution actually gets done what we need to get done. It's so, look, I feel sorry for average entrepreneurs anymore because there's so many hustles and there's so many gimmicks, and these things play on the emotions of people that don't know that business is not an emotional experience. If you don't love what you do, you will suck at what you do because your heart will not be in what you do. Sales operations takes a plan, whatever plan it is you have, and it maps out exactly how that plan needs to be executed on a daily basis in order for you to see revenue. Okay. And I keep saying a daily basis and measure it weekly. And I want to just take our last minute together and drill down on why that's so important. Whenever I've done sales coaching or sales management or advisory services to a chief sales officer, it's always about, why did you not realize that there was a performance issue until the end of the quarter? At the end of the quarter, did you start coaching, or were you just pissed and thought you wanted them out? Because if you had realized it week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Snooze. If you realize there is a problem immediately, it is easier to correct the problem immediately for all parties involved. If week 1 there's a problem and I correct it week 1, no bad habit is formed. But over the course of a quarter, a habit is formed that then has to be broken and corrected. If no bad habit is formed, we can get right to correction. We don't have to break anything. It's easier to manage sales operations weekly than any other way. You want revenue, everybody does. There's no easy path. Without building a strong foundation, which is your revenue operations strategy, and building the building around it. Where are the doors? Where are the fire escapes? How are you constructing this? What does this need to endure? What will take place in this building? What is the purpose? Right? And when the rubber meets the road of strategy to revenue, the wheel that needs to turn is sales operations. I appreciate our time together. I always appreciate our time together. This is Rich Laster with Grow Expand, and here's a word from our sponsor.
A bit about our company. We produce strategies and deploy experts to grow your business revenue. The success of our clients is a direct result of the 25+ years of sales and marketing experience of our founder, Rich Laster. We take the guesswork out of increasing your revenue. Our reputation is built on results, not another roll of the dice with your marketing budget. Visit growexpand.com